Hey guys, in this video, which will turn into a final cacophony of an all-round rant, I will explain to you why I suspect that crypto, as I've always said it would be, has been fully hijacked. The stage 2 is the financialization, the cartel taking full ownership of the possibility that one day we would have free money, whether it was designed to be that way from the very beginning with the Satoshi Nakamoto narrative and the real existence behind that man. Remember the 1996 paper that very, very closely emulated crypto. I suspect this is indeed the coming of your new money brought to you by the dark state all along. Many people don't like that message. They think it's depressing and they can't cope with it. And no, this time it's different. You'll never hack it. Initially, we were all told Bitcoin was all private. Now everybody realizes there's lifetime ledger. And in fact, there's very few coins that are really, really private. And there's all attempts to hack them, which is usually only coming from dark state. More on that later in this rant. But my prediction is, and has always been, that crypto, either from the beginning as outset, is a dark state built new money system, or is very quickly become one. And has been hijacked. So either from inception or hijacked, and I will detail that in this video. If, by the way, you saw us go live stream and you saw a curious YouTube of one of my employees looking quizzically at his screen, apologies for that. We were playing with getting the live stream ready. By the way, also, before I go into this clip, I want to also tell you that 31st of October is our new webinar, No More Trading Metamorphosis Program, No More Trading Metamorphosis Program offer. We have a self-study program which will include a couple of events. You can register for that and you can come and find out in the free webinar, whether interested or not, about it's not what you make, but what you keep. Anyway, welcome to the video. We're going to be talking about Binance's CEO and his not a small bank, and I hope you enjoy it. Hello guys, yes, so we have the head of Binance giving oxygen to not a small bank, aka Goldman Sachs. A little bit of a heads up on Goldman Sachs. The ex-CEO Hank Paulson, the person who actually had American taxpayer bail out all the banks, had AIG bail out Goldman Sachs amongst other financial institutions to full parity on insurance on subprime mortgages at the cost of the taxpayer backing AIG, aka at your cost via this bankrupt intermediary that insured everyone, even though they didn't have the balance sheet to do it, by 100 multiple. So that as everything was collapsing, all the investment banks said, but we insured and we've got coverage, and you need to make sure that that guy is solvent to pay us out in full, promptly paid out in full. And apart from a little bit of an investment from yours truly, Warren Buffett, at the most beneficial rates to show that America's economy is awesome and great and everyone should buy America, he put in convertible investment into the same Goldman Sachs that was loan debt paying a real high interest rate, and as soon as the market changed and started to rally, he could convert it to equity, which after the 2009 bottom and getting this huge fat interest rate on the money he invested, also helping make Goldman stay solvent, he subsequently converted to equity and absolutely made billions. Not single billion, billions. I had the number of 5 billion in equity in the same institution. So this is Goldman Sachs. They also helped off balance sheet a lot of debt of Greece, basically commit a financial fraud so that Greece could be bounced into a Eurozone they should never have been bounced in. They never met the Maastricht criteria. That led to them subsequently being able to borrow money at the rates of Germany, which had a real trade surplus and is a different economy entirely. That then saw them borrow too much money, that then saw them get bust and is now essentially owned, aka the model, the economic hitman. Create debt, keep lending to them, don't worry about underwriting criteria. You own everything of them and their people once they've failed to pay your usury extracting rental extracting loan agreements. So this is the history of this organization that's quite secretive, pays huge money to people who work hard to steal basically from others within a legal context, of course. So vile to the core. I can't hide my contempt for the people that work there, particularly the people at the top and the echelons. Very, very closets, very deceptive. These are the people that wrote Analyst, equity analyst reports in the .com pool. Please buy, and then described it in emails to each other internally as nothing but a piece of shit. This is the deception. The deception, institutionalized, white-collar criminal organization of choice. You'll be smothered in money for being a smart fox, a jackal, a deceiver of note. This is what I think of Goldman Sachs. Of course, the Binance guys, just so awesome, happy, because it doesn't matter how you got your money. You can be a murderer, you can be a fraud, but it's just so awesome that such a big bank. Well, he's the same guy that seemed to have a fake fraud banner that was saying Bitfinex or Binance is walking away from Tether. He should be chasing that person that used his branding to create a scare in crypto and a major pump that damaged probably mostly the retail traders, instead of getting so excited about big upping Goldman Sachs. So Goldman Sachs will use Backed custody service. Goldman Sachs have also invested in Circle. Circle is an investment vehicle that's an intermediary essentially for the cabal, the institutionalized financial fraud perpetuating cabal that bought into Poloniex. So Circle owns Poloniex, Goldman Sachs' investment vehicle, amongst others. So these vile fraud bankers are going in there, and they are going to use Bacts. Now, if that comes as a surprise to you, this Bacts is going to become a major thing, and it's part of the cabal and the institutionalized financial system that manipulates all markets. And if you think that's not true, actually, they've been fined by their own referees for manipulating Forex and gold and silver. Deutsche Bank have been implicated. Many of the London banks that are involved in the price fixing, clues in the phrase there. So what I'm saying is not just personal bile and rhetoric. This is by the own legislators, many of which cross sides to go from referee to player, from poacher to hunter, actually have made them. But they'll never go to jail. The highest thing that ever happens is fines, and they get to steal some more. But anyway, these guys have gone into Bacts, and they're saying we're going to do Bacts. And everyone's asking, what do you think of Bacts? So let's actually go into the tweet. Backed service, and this is custodian services. Now I want you to understand what custodian is. It's like we're the legitimate official holder. We're this gold-plated Mayfair of London place that will hold your gold. You know, the physical version of a vault. Custodian services. And they want to create paper crypto. Custodian services for crypto. We'll keep it safe. Cue the secret services, because just about every single hack is probably being driven by governments, hackers. The biggest hacker community is within the dark state, MI5, CIA, FBI, all the dark state permanent manipulators, assassins, and miscellaneous ne'er-do-wells. will probably hack various exchanges. Who knows? Bitfinex might come in for more heat and Tether and all of that, till eventually the only place that is deemed 100% safe is the likes of BAT and custodial services. And you'll be encouraged to put your Bitcoin there. That's like taking your gold and putting it in a banker's vault and then saying, allowing them to create an ETF, exchange traded fund, on crypto. Everyone so wants institutionalization. That's when Bitcoin will moon. Everyone so wants the money. Everyone so wants to invite the psychopaths of the primary game. You are watching the Trojan horse and the hijack in full swing right here, happening. Rehypothecation, in other words, where they then sell the same ounce of gold 100 times in an ETF to many different people, and you are not the owner. You are owner of a paper contract with legalese that says in the small print or cash equivalent, instead of getting your gold, or in the event of not being able to deliver, or gives them 14 days to find it, where they'll steal an ounce from somebody else. In the same way, they want to create custodian services, are the beginning of a creation of someone else holding your BTC or crypto. The minute you give them that right and they sit on a pool, this takes you back to the old blacksmith who used to hold money because he was big and strong, always there, making swords and hammering horseshoes into horses, and kept people's gold. God help you if you try to get the gold from him, and would just give IOU notes, noticing that he spent most of his time with a certain amount of gold always on his premises. He started issuing more pieces of paper because if someone came and asked, on that rare occasion, he always had somebody else's gold there, and he could create money and build wealth for himself and rehypothecate. In other words, have multiple claims on a single asset, because the people never take the assets, they accept the paper version. Custodian services are the beginning of the same game of derivatives that you can then create huge financially leveraged inverted pyramids. 1 ounce of gold, hundreds of ounces sold short of paper gold, keeping and controlling the price. This is where the tail actually does wag the dog, because no one actually deals with the body of the dog anymore, the real animal. They're just dealing with the paper dog. And you're going to see the beginning of this developing. Who owns BACT? Go find out. Okay, quick little Google. This is the CIA's own outsourced tech division, who will prostitute every single detail about you, where you are location-wise, what you're doing, etc., etc., etc. And even they tell you, NYSE's owner is launching a startup exchange for Bitcoin. NYSE's owner is launching a startup facility to hold Bitcoin. Oh, thanks for taking us to the actual article, you silly bastards. Here we go. Bring in Bitcoin into your 401k. Everyone's thinking, so awesome, this is going to make it moon and make me rich. Never mind if it's the control structure, as long as I get mixed. No, they make themselves rich. You have to understand the game. If you're libertarian, if you want your own money, let me tell you, it's in the process, it's quite deep down the process of a full-blown hijack. Backed by Microsoft and Starbucks. Fancy mentioning the oligopolies of the control structure. One that prostitutes your details and will help track you to the same way that Google and Amazon will do. The other one that doesn't pay much tax, I think pays less than a fraction of 1% in the UK, and has the double Dutch avoidance system, and has Wi-Fi in every store so that you can jump on and be tracked on your Microsoft device. The ICE exchange, the international exchange, the same exchanges and systems that they used to working with and controlling market prices with through the stock market and the great Ponzi scheme. These three virtues of liberty, privacy, your personal independence are coming to give you a custodian service because they want to offer it to you. No, they don't. They want to control this game. They want to bring in the same tricks, the same Trojan hijacking, long-term, crypto manipulating games they use to control all the mainstream financial organizations. When will people get the control structure will never let you have independent money that will usurp and have greater value and greater integrity than their fake system that allows them to tip the casino table so that you never get the number you're supposed to and the house always wins. When are people going to get that? When are people going to realize that this is a hijack? You don't want institutional money and their institutional systems and their rigged game and their corporations of cooperation that are extensions of government. Microsoft is surveillance partner to government, like Google, like Apple, like all of these. Schmuckbucks, the non-tax paying crap coffee selling, is a Wi-Fi hub zone and a property company more than anything else. The ICE exchange is the technology arm for markets that are used to working with the same criminals such as Goldman Sachs that are there to maintain the luxury of an elite that makes a huge fortune at the expense of the masses by perpetuating the Ponzi scheme and being the financial extended capitalistic, inverted commas, because it's not capitalistic, arm of government. And Bitcoin is on the verge of a breakthrough and a mainstream currency. We should all be celebrating this. Look at this. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Fortune freaking magazine, that absolute mainstream media plague of non-real legit journalism where, real journalists, let's be frank, if you talk the truth and you expose real deep dark things, you end up locked up in an embassy for the best part of 10 years without light, exercise, limited visitation rights. The people have to just about get strip searched and have their phone and all recording devices on to go visit you. You get imprisoned in an embassy by a bastion of fair play, Britain. The bastion of fair play, where no single political party has any issue on a 10-year confinement sentence on someone once accused of rape for which the charges have been entirely thrown away. They continue to support an absolute imprisonment of a truth. We are in the times when a revolutionary act is speaking the truth about your surveillance state and their overreach and absolute domination of the citizenry. You're watching Trump make excuses for a bunch of Saudis that are in cahoots with Israelis and Mossads that have chopped up a journalist in Turkey, an outside land in a freaking embassy. You're talking about thugs, barbarians, and absolute medieval level violent control structures that, along with banking cartels, are coming for your crypto. And you want this to be treated as a celebration. To achieve that vision, ICE is partnering with heavyweights from the world of technology. Yay for the heavyweights of the world. Yay for the oligopoly, the flipping oligarchs, the people that are prostituting you and dominating you. Boston Consulting Group, you may as well just call CIA consultants. They are consistently working with the intelligence community. Wasn't Snowden, I think, with one of them, like Boston Consulting? If it wasn't BCG, it was one such profile. ICE did not immediately disclose the total investment they made with partners, a group which includes Fortress Investment Group, Eagle 7, Q, all shell companies of all the various oligarchs and their cranky symbol-orientated names. The founding imperative for BAT will be to make Bitcoin a sound and secure offering for key constituents that mostly shun it. The big financial institution. Yeah, go claim this new asset class for the cartel so that we control it too. Go make it owned so we continue to have a beer with the same old crook at lunch with the same old rigged game and own and expand our overreaching grip on everything in the world, including all forms of potential money. Forget about 21 million limitations on Bitcoin the minute these guys have their custodian services and are proliferating them through the financial institutions. Apart from forks already already being quantitative easing and proliferation, these guys will flood supply on the same multiple fractional reserve banking hypothesis, where you hold one and you issue 100, creating paper Bitcoin out of pure air, rehypothecation. All the usual tricks are back in town when you let these guys come and play the game. The goal is clear. The way for Money Managed to offer Bitcoin mutual funds, pension funds, and ETFs as a highly regulated mainstream investment is here, thanks to these. We don't want those same schmucks that have ripped everybody off. The financial institutions are not interested in our wealth development. They're interested in maximum fee extraction for basic services provided that should be commoditized, utilitarian, and are exceedingly of poor value. You take a tracker with very low cost in a major index such as S&P 500, and you will beat every single one of these financialization product offerings that are put in front of you. The next steps after that could be using Bitcoin to replace your credit card. Oh, we're so glad to have you leading the innovation. We got to the point where Bitcoin replaces not just a credit card, but every aspect of your corrupted financial services system. Your checkbooks, your check accounts, your saving accounts. Don't come and tell me our game, my credit card can be disbanded and I can have a Bitcoin. Piss off. You're late, you're basic, you clearly don't understand it, and you are part of the news media, Fortune magazine, that are hyping the emergence of BACT. Oh, I'm so glad BACT has shown up to steal the game away from the sheep and the citizens and deliver us again to our careholders, which will protect us from terrorism, acts of terrorism, people that don't want to do well, and open us up to good form and safety, where your government and your surveillance state and all the corporates participating in that sharing of your information and detail and surveilling you, and all the dark state operatives know exactly where you are, what you're doing, and can get their maximum extraction in fees on every possible thing that could amount to a financial service, in taxation on every possible move you make with your money, and continue to live off you for the parasitic state-based vile system that they are. That is your BACT. That is your announcements. And this schmuck who's supposed to be in the Bitcoin community, is supposed to be running an exchange for libertarian people, is celebrating and saying what a wonderful thing to have schmuck-face Sachs and the psychopathic crooks coming on board. Aren't we so glad to have a major league gangster come on board with their civilized, expensive three-piece suits, come and screw us over one more time, just when we had a sniff and a whiff of actually getting real money. That's it from me. Eat it. Know who your enemies are. This guy is not one of your friends in Binance. He is facilitating, and same for those bloody Winklevoss twins. They are rollover stooges facilitating the financialization of the crypto world and delivering it to the absolute gangster cartel that we've had all along before, and they will control your money. End of rant. Bye for now.